The Tales from the Calamity. The Walker's Path. This is the story, brace yourselves, of Minfilia. White and red. A flurry of petals falling upwards to the sky, like rain returning to the clouds. Please come back to me, Father. Please. Incense and unguent. I can't breathe. She waited for the telltale rise and fall of his chest. Eyes closed, he looked as though he was asleep. Almost. I'm not ready to say goodbye. Burning. The desert sun baked the nape of her neck as she clenched her hands and stared at the liars. Her father had warned her that Uldar was dangerous, that they must keep to themselves and avoid attracting undue attention. In the end, however, it was not an Imperial agent that took his life, but a Gubu, freed from its magical fetters during a parade. An accident. My fault. I'm so sorry, Asilia. I never thought. We never meant for her fault. I know this wrong cannot be righted, but I will make what amends I can, I swear to you. Murderer. It had been their scheme. They would stop the Gubu and become heroes to the people. No one was supposed to die. But you will, all of you. Yet Philomene weathered her curses and held her tighter. Even when it hurt you to do so. And though the hatred which once filled her heart did not vanish, it gave way to another sensation. A warmth Asilia once thought lost to her. Mother. It was solely a means to maintain the fiction. Her father's Garlean spy masters still sought Asilia for her father's betrayal. But no one would seek Minfilia. An Alamegan orphan adopted by an Uldan woman seeking to fill the void left by her lover's death. It's just another lie, she told herself. Woven with the truth, but a lie nonetheless. And then, one day, it wasn't anymore. A name-day gift for my nearest Minfilia. Belated, I know, but in my profession, unexpected delays are only to be expected. The thrum of conversation in the quicksand had masked the bard's approach. Minfilia hastily put away the remnants of her reminiscence and turned to face him. Perpetually passing by, Thancred had drifted in and out of Minfilia's life for years. He had been 17 when they first met, 5 years her senior. Or so he claimed. His carefree demeanour belied many secrets, not least his skill with a blade. The manner in which he had battled the creature which slew her father was proof of that. Of course, he preferred a subtler approach when circumstances allowed. Minfilia? It is as much his name as it is mine, Minfilia thought wryly. He had all but chosen it. As they sat down together at the quieter end of the bar, she was struck by the intimacy of their collusion, and felt a flush creep up her neck. The parcel she received for her 18th birthday contained a mithril dagger, and a sealed missive. From my mentor, Thancred explained. The man responsible for transforming a Luminson wharf rat into the paragon of virtue you see before you. Minfilia cocked an eyebrow. And how many maidens fair has said paragon deflowered since arriving in Uldar, pray tell? Thancred smirked and gestured to the missive in Minfilia's hands. To whom do I owe the pleasure, she wondered, unfolding the parchment. The words were written in an elegant, flowing hand. You have walked in the memories of others, have you not? She recoiled from Thancred, the parchment crumpling in one hand as the other sought the hilt of the mithril dagger. What did you tell him? She spat. In a moment of weakness, Minfilia had confided in Thancred about her visions, fragments of the past she had started to glimpse a year before. No one else knew what she had seen. All that I have heard her voice. If the bard was surprised by her reaction, he did not show it. Read on, he said quietly. All the way to the end. I ask only that. It is foretold that on the cusp of an umbral calamity, individuals blessed with the power of the echo will appear, the letter continued. During the 6th umbral era, when the waters rose to swallow the land, the 12 archons who stood against the darkness each bore this blessing. Minfilia looked up to see Thancred staring at her. He abruptly turned away. The histories paint a fanciful picture of these gifted souls. Through countless retellings, the Archon's deeds are become a myth. Their powers more akin to gods than men. However, there are 2 things of which I am now certain. First, their gift, the Echo, granted them the power to walk within the memories of others. Second, though Minfilia knew how the sentence would end, her breath caught in her throat as she read Louisoix Levieur's next words. You have been blessed with the self-same power. After a time, she spoke. You cannot be serious. He is, Thancred replied. For once, the bard's voice was devoid of affection. Master Louisoix believes that we are on the verge of an umbral calamity, and that your gift is the key to ensuring our survival. Happy name day, thought Minfilia numbly. In stunned silence, she listened as Thancred proceeded to reveal that he was in fact a member of the Circle of Knowing, an organization founded by his Sharlayan mentor to forestall the coming of the 7th Umbral era. He and his colleagues had been dispatched to Eorzea's 3 key seats of power to further this cause by any means necessary. A liar, she thought. But that much was clear from the start. How you choose to use your gift is your decision, he concluded. You've no obligation to us, nor to the realm. Come to that. But for better or worse, this is your legacy. You can no more run from it than you can from yourself. She bit her lip. I am not ready to face this. But I will. Though separated by countless malms, Minfilia and Louisoix searched for answers together. But being no scholar, Minfilia sought knowledge via other means. There are more like me, but different, she wrote to him. We wander in the darkness alone. But if we came together and shared our experiences, we might yet come to understand the echo, mayhap even to control it. Splendid idea, yet fraught with peril, Louisoix warned. As you well know, men are wont to fear the gifted. Proceed with caution, my child, and do not allow your true intentions to become known. Minfilia could not help but smile. This child is more experienced than you think. To outsiders, the Path of the 12 was but one in a sea of obscure religious sects devoted to the pursuit of spiritual knowledge. Its charismatic antecedent, the Lady Minfilia, led a small but devoted following of walkers, so named for their resolution to walk the path with her, a lie woven with the truth. The Circle of Knowing was of great help in those early days, particularly in identifying those who had woken to the echo. Their ranks swelled, and 2 years after she had first learned the name of her gift, she began to educate others in its use. And so the days passed, some more quickly than others. The Order grew, and with it, its mission expanded, as did the risks. There were days of celebration, of sorrow, of waiting, of greetings and farewells, and sometimes all of them at once. Nail Van Darnus is dead. It should be over. Alone in the hall of the first step, Minfilia paced. Overhead, the Lesser Moon Dalamud continued its descent towards Eorzea, apparently indifferent to the demise of the Meteor Project's chief orchestrator. Can naught else be done? As if in answer to the question, there came a gentle knock at the door. The white-haired Ellison who entered was not quite what she had pictured when she penned the invitation. He's older now, she thought. As are we all. Archon Louisoix, it's an honour to meet you at last, she began. Though now that I have said it, it feels wrong, somehow. Indeed it does. Louisoix replied. As he held her gaze, a slow grin spread across the Archon's time-worn face, and the pair broke into stifled, then heartfelt laughter. They spoke of better days and beloved colleagues, of exciting discoveries and shared accomplishments. It was natural, unforced, as if we have always known each other, as if we are family. Gradually the conversation slowed. No longer could they postpone the matter at hand, for the hour of reckoning was upon them. So what now? Minfilia began. Louisoix shook his head. Now we must part ways. Where I go, you cannot follow. The Archon's plan was to summon the 12 using forbidden arts known only to him. With their combined strength, he was certain that he could prevent the fall of the Lesser Moon. Such strength, however, posed a threat in itself. Should Eorzea's patron deities assume physical form, it seemed more than likely that they would be prone to the same appetites as the gods of the Beastmen. Should that prove the case, their mere presence would bleed the land of life. And so Louisoix would instead call upon a fraction of the 12's power, enough to stay Dalamud's descent and no more. Seems a fine balance to strike. Are you certain you can do it? Louisoix's voice was distant. Mayhap not, but the 12 could not be suffered to set foot upon Eorzean soil. And then, head bowed, he told her the rest. No, Minfilia shivered, suddenly feeling weak and cold. She had to fight the urge to rub her arms. Is there truly no other way? None half as reliable. He placed a hand on her shoulder. If I do not return, the others will look to you. You must be prepared to lead them. But I am not ready. She turned away, closed her eyes in a bid to stem the tears. Do they know what you intend? They know enough. He stepped forward. Darker days lie ahead, but know that where there is darkness, there will always be light. His voice was soft and reassuring. A father's voice. You will see the truth of this, Minfilia. When one who bears the light comes to stand before you, one who is gifted like you, together you will greet the dawn. Minfilia turned to face Louisoix once more. In the soft blue of his eyes shone cold steel. She held his gaze until she could no longer bear it. Please, come back to us. Please. After the Calamity, Minfilia and Thancred summoned the surviving members of the Path of the 12 and the Circle of Knowing to a joint meeting. As Minfilia shared the wishes of the late Louisoix Levieux, all present listened in quiet solemnity. And when she called for objections to the union, none were forthcoming. Henceforth, we shall be known as the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, she declared, and all agreed it was an apt name. In times of trouble, she often gazed upon the fragments of Tupsimati, enshrined on the wall of her solar in the new waking sands. What gave you the strength, she wondered? Who guided you through the darkness? For 5 years she faithfully carried out his wishes. 5 years she kept the faith and believed in his words. 5 years spent working, watching, waiting, but not in vain. For when the adventurer entered the solar to greet the Scions, she knew it. I am ready. The end. It's a bit sad. Yeah, it was forced upon her. It's a bit sad. It's a bit sad. Yeah. It's a bit sad. That's me. I'm the adventurer. It's a bit sad. It's a bit sad. Story hitting different. Well, I told you Minfilia was no amateur. She was no amateur. You know what I mean? Feels strong. Yeah, she did it. Only in the wake of us. The stories are from here. So we've got one more for A Realm Reborn, and then we've got the Heaven.